Professor, you're a pioneer in DBS, deep brain stimulation. What is it?
So deep brain stimulation, as the name tells, is a method to put electrode into the brain deeply in the nuclei which are at the base of the brain, and to deliver electrical current which has different type of effect, either excitatory or inhibitory.
But does it mean that you know how to control people's movement, physical behavior?
We don't control movement or behavior. We just interfere with the diseases which have perturbated some circuits and some networks. And delivering high-frequency stimulation, in particular, resets the system. So we are not controlling, we are not driving, we are just putting these networks in a situation to work correctly.
What are the side effects? I mean, is it dangerous play?
It's not dangerous by itself. I mean, we can even stop it whenever you want. That the beauty of the method, it is reversible. So if you don't like it, just stop it. That's first. The only danger is when you put the electrode in place, but that's for every surgery. There is always a higher risk when you do the surgery than when you don't do it. But it's a very reasonable risk. So by itself, it's considered as the safest method as compared to what we had before, which were essentially making lesions.
But I've heard that thanks to DBS, you can make people feel happy. So what about the ethics? What about crossing the lines, red lines against human nature?
No, I don't think there is a real risk because it's not that easy. We are not able to do whatever we want.
Stimulate emotions.
Yeah, I cannot put an electrode and make you feeling whatever you want, whatever I want. And changing your opinion, and particularly your opinion towards me or so. What I can do is when you have abnormal situations, for instance, the best is obsessive-compulsive disorder. Those people feel obliged to do something that they don't want to do. And then when we stimulate the right parts, where we know that it interferes, then those patients are released from this obligation. It's like dystonia also, the same, where they have those movements which are not beautiful, uncomfortable, useless, but they can't stop them because it's independent of your will, their will. The same for obsessive-compulsive disorder. They feel obliged to check, to wash their hands and to go back home and make sure that they have closed the windows, etc.
Make them free.
You made them free because they are caught by something which forces them. They feel driven by not even a voice, etc. It's not delirious. They know that it is a compulsion. They have an obligation. And if they don't do that, they feel anxious, they feel uncomfortable. When you stimulate those people, you just put them in a normal situation like you and me. I mean, that there are many things which disturb us during the day, and you don't need for that to be stimulated in the brain to be able to say, okay, that's enough. I'd just forget to think about that.
Your studies, your achievement was a breakthrough in Parkinson's disease, but also in other movement disorders. What is, in your opinion, the next step in brain complexity research?
Well, it's always difficult to foresee what you don't see, particularly when, like in my case, the discoveries we made were not predicted. That's what we call serendipity. I was looking for something, not desperately, but a lot of my attention and my work were aimed at solving some problems. And one day you find something which brings you close to the solution. And I could not have predicted that. So now our goal in this domain is to do more than just suppressing the symptoms, which is the goal is to slow down the disease itself. because when we stop the tremor, for instance, of a Parkinsonian patient, if we stop the stimulation, the tremor recurs, and the disease has evolved all along the line. And finally, we end up with a brain which is strongly damaged. So we want to protect. That's neuroprotection, the new frontier for us in this specific field of my activity is to neuroprotect the neurons against the many aggressions and insults that it may have from the environment, from aging, from what we do. Drinking, for instance, alcohol is an aggression, and the best way to protect the brain against alcohol is not to drink alcohol.